I know.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm
Good.
just having very interesting, like, very subtle experiences. I was Saturday, I was sitting and I noticed there is some rejection pattern in the mental space. Some thoughts I was like, oh, okay, rejections, they rejected me. And just go into body, into sensations, and just look for rejection as
Yeah.
something like this. And that's just like nothing. And that's it, as simple as that.
Yeah.
And then I was driving today, and then someone on the road. Oh, in the morning, I was driving and I was listening to one of your videos, and the internet connection was on, off, on, off, on, off. And the first one, that resistance. Oh, okay, sit with sensations, and then appearing, disappearing, appearing, disappearing. Next thing again, you notice that, and third times that happens, it actually was laughing reaction, but still was reaction. And another time it happens, and just sensations and no reaction at all.
Yeah.
It was very interesting. And on the way back, there was someone caught me over there. What happened on the road? And then sensations, like some mental yep, 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 and then he ignored me. Okay, because I have noticed I need to specify very shortly what is happening. So, like ignoring, that ignorance. So just sensations and looking for that ignoring. And you can't find it.
That's such a good insight. Absolutely.
um, and it's just like it's yeah, like once you sit like this, you can't find anything. And then another time today, um there was some kind of comparison happened in here. Oh, okay, comparing. So there is some kind of me. Okay, look for this me who has been compared. And once, once that remembering was, happened, that look for this me, you could actually see this like a mental, formation, projection, like, oh, this some kind of me, and there is descriptions. What's this me?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That was very interesting recently things happening. But my question is, because I only realized that boundaries actually exist a few years ago, very recently, and I was operating on codependency, enmeshment, people pleasing, and all this, and a lot of my own desires and needs and all this suppressed. So how can I differentiate between when actually boundary needs to be set, or I have to allow people to be the way they just are? And to see, because that's what I'm thinking. That's okay for people to be the way they are, but then maybe I'm suppressing myself. And
Mm.
how do I know? Because I have a problem with boundaries.
Yeah, yeah. It's so difficult to feel into when you have history or and you have trauma and you have all of that. Being aware that you have an issue with boundaries is very, very helpful. Working with the second fetter about the underlying belief, the toxic starting point, that where you start out from, they have a right to be here. I do not have a right to be here. Being aware that that is an issue, that kind of sets you into a new starting point, because then you know that you need to be aware, you need to be alert. Full stop on another page. When we talk about boundaries and being aware of when am I accepting other people to be who they are, and when do I have strong boundaries, it's we only have issues with boundaries if we think those two things are opposites, because they're not. They are happening at the same time. Like, if you have two countries, right? And you have a border between, I'm not taking the US because that's too hot a potato to talk about. So let's say Europe, right? You have a border between, let's say Denmark and Germany, and for all Americans, yes, there is a border between Denmark and Germany. It's not the same. It's Denmark is not capital of, but let's leave that.
I know that now.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
do,
I
you do, you do.
do.
So happy. So you have a very clear boundary where Denmark is and where Germany starts. And there's not really any, debate about that. Nobody's going like, oh, I think I want to live over there, and then just live over there, because the boundary is just respected. There's nobody standing at the border and go, oh, you're not supposed to do that. Everybody just respects it because we have very, very clear boundary of where Denmark is and where Germany is. So that's also, if somebody comes and say, I want to live over there, the consensus is going to be like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're going back there, you know? So, and there's no fuss about it. There's no, oh, should we consider if it's okay? Oh, should we allow them this once? Or are they going to get sad if we say no? All of that is not there because they're clear boundaries. So it's just a no. And it's not even an unkind no. And it's not even a no. It's just no. That's clear boundaries. And that is where other people can say, I think I want to live over there. You can say you want to live over there, but you're not. I mean, that's Germany. You're not living over there. You're living in here. So it's like there's just very, very clear understanding of where what is. And if you can take that scenario and turn it that way, to look at yourself, then there's a very clear scenario of, that's my handbag. What are you doing in my handbag? That's not like about it. It's just like, hang on, hands up from my handbag. That's my phone. This is my body. It's just very, very clear.
There is no strong reactivity.
Why would there be?
Okay, I'll give you, yeah.
Because there's nothing to defend.
Yeah.
It's only when you don't have boundaries that you think there's something to defend.
Mm-hmm.
When you have clear boundaries, there's nothing to defend. There's no reason to go completely overboard. It's like with parents and children, right? That we have this thing that we need to show our children clear boundaries. I'm always like, are you absolutely sure about that? Are you sure about that? How are you with your boundaries? Because you only need to put your foot down if you have an issue with your boundaries. Otherwise, it's very, very clear. I'm not sitting and, well, now I am poking a finger up Todd's nose because it's his body. Sorry. So it's like there's very, very clear understanding of where what is.
This was recently, just very, very couple days ago. My eldest son, who is approaching nearly 30, and his car insurance is quite high. So he said, like, Mom, I thinking, like maybe you could do a car insurance, take car insurance, insure cars on both cars on your name, so that and I could feel there was just like a definite, absolute no in the body, but it was just like it was so much. I was sitting on the sofa and I could feel like very, very strong no, and I simultaneously felt like a small child and I actually broke in tears because I was just like,
Mm.
but it was very childlike feeling in the here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, exactly. And it's only because you have it's because the boundary thing is very new to you. So therefore you don't feel that you have a right to say no. I mean, if that was my son saying that, I would have laughed out loud. You are hilarious. As if. No, 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 no. I would have taken it as a joke. So it's about that you're very new to this boundary concept, and you need to, and you're doing it beautifully, feeling that there's a little girl in you going like, no, 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 please listen. And because she's not listened to, you break into tears, So it's just really, back here. Can you be in a body where you feel that you have a clear boundary, you do not dare to say it? Can you just take a beat? It's always a good idea to get yourself used to saying, I need to sleep on that, even though you know it's a no. But then just give yourself the time and give yourself the space, to, I need to sleep on that. Would you like, to be promoted and get, an extra zero on your yearly income? I need to sleep on that. So you just allow yourself that space to feel where the boundary is, to feel
Mm.
into the body yes, body no, all the different sides of it, instead of being put on the spot like you were, because you are novice to boundaries, and then
Mm.
allow yourself to be a novice in the boundaries.
See, like with my teenager son,
Yeah.
because he was a very sensitive child when he was young, very, very sensitive. He was breaking in tears and like he was so connecting. Like I was like carrying him 9 months inside me and then 9 months on top of me. Like he was just like that. He wouldn't just leave me. Anyway, we had very strong connection, and he was like, I don't know, like very reliant on me, that type of way. And he was very like connection was very, very close. Like I was his safe space. And so now when he's gotten his teenage stage, he's detaching from me, which is
Yeah, wonderful.
totally normal.
Yeah.
Yes, he's getting into his adulthood. And I can see like he's like all over the place, like
Yeah.
emotionally, and it just, like he's just learning. He's like learning who he is and what he's in the world, things like this. And he has a lot of anger outburst,
Mm.
and I'm trying just, like don't, not speak to me this way. Same, it's very hard because, like I don't want to suppress him.
Mm.
You're not allowed to do this and that and that. And same time, I don't want to allow him too much either.
No,
So
but
we kind of
but
both
yeah,
yes.
okay. I just want to say, now that anger is a diversion.
Yes.
So when he come and say "Rare" to you, you can say, "Sweetheart, what's the matter? Can we talk about this?" "No, but you always blah, blah, blah." Calm down, calm down. Don't yell. Can we talk about this? What is it? And then you just bring it back to the level where conversation can be had, because you can't have a conversation with anybody yelling, and anybody who has anger bursts. Anyone needs to learn to emotionally express themselves. But if you haven't had clear boundaries, you have not taught him clear boundaries, which means that you need to teach him that as well. And he's still a teenager. He's still, Play-Doh. So he will still copy paste.
Hmm.
So it's just that it's fine for people to yell and to have an anger burst. You don't need to jump on it. You don't need to have an anger burst as well. You can say, I can hear you're angry. Can we talk about it? Rawr. If you're yelling, I can't hear you. Lower your voice and let's talk about it.
Sometimes when I keep him calm, like and just like that shush shush settle down, he just like
Yeah,
oh and
yeah,
shut
yeah,
down.
yeah. Careful with that, because in that you're making him wrong.
Okay.
If you say shush, he's not allowed to express himself. So it's
Okay.
acknowledging, I can hear you angry. I can't speak with you when you yell. Could you lower the voice and then we
Huh.
talk? So it's more speak like you would talk to me, like at an adult even
Yes.
level. Because shush is also something you say to somebody that
Yeah.
you wouldn't go to your boss and say shush.
Uh-huh.
So,
Uh-huh.
so,
Got you.
so it's
Yeah.
about having that
Uh-huh.
even conversation.
Yeah. It's very like it's him, it's just like it's so it's like this.
Mm,
You're like he's touching around me and I'm touching around him. It's
yeah,
just so oh.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's very good point. Thank you.
Yeah, good, good. Doing great.
Yeah,
You have
Thank
something else?
you.
I did actually. I just wanted to go back to something before or earlier when you were talking about, because I love the like if somebody's criticizing you, having that look of like, okay, wait a minute, what is actually being criticized here, and
Mm,
doing the self investigation. But the one thing I wanted to check in on is when you had said about like being ignored, and that you had this like reaction to being ignored, and then it was like, well, what is being ignored? And it's true, you can look at it from that standpoint, but it might also be bypassing something that also needs to be looked at, because what is it that was coming up with that being ignored? why does somebody ignoring you actually cause any sort of reaction that has to be looked into?
Because he's supposed to be nice to me.
Ah,
Oh, the rules.
there's yeah. Were they aware of these rules? And
I actually wrote rules. He's supposed to stop because obstacle was on his side.
okay. Yep. So looking into the expectations of how things should have been and how you want them to be, and if it's bringing up something which is a deeper issue of, people always ignore me, people don't, if there's some sort of belief underneath there that's being tickled by the situation, then it might be helpful in the moment to defuse this overt reactivity to look into, wait a minute, what's happening here? But it's not going to get to the root of why you are reactive when somebody ignores you to begin with.
So what do I do to get to the root? You just like connect with that part which feels ignored.
Yeah, feel what that is bringing up in the body.
Yeah,
And then
yeah, really go to
yeah,
the body. Careful with not going into the mind and
exactly.
doing that one. Label, post it, but really go into the
Yeah.
body and feel, how does it feel?
Yeah, and see what that brings up. You might feel, just feeling that, you might have a flash of memories of times that you have been ignored or you have felt this sensation before, and you can start to recognize, oh, this goes back into that old belief that I have about, not being worthy of being seen, or whatever the thing happens to be. There's going to be something underneath there that keeps being touched on when somebody does that.
Very
And
strangely now when you were talking and when you said, like might bring memory and times when you've been ignored, I was instantly here, just here and then just like, oh.
yeah, there you go. So just looking at the fact that ignoring itself is a concept isn't really going to help get to the root of that. It's just because that's not touching this. What is it that about being ignored that brings that contraction up? Is there a fear about being ignored? Is there, some sort of hurt because again,
It's hard.
yeah,
It's hard. It's just like brushing off that type of way. Yeah, it's not that much fear. It's hard. Yeah, it's just like really just like see me.
yeah, yeah.
Don't push me away.
So can you do the work that we, always do with going back and seeing the younger Anna when she needed to be seen and seeing your current self the way you need to be seen? If it's really a problem that if people are ignoring you and you're not feeling seen now, how are you not seeing yourself? See in what parts you're ignoring your own needs right now. What is it that is making that seem like such an attack on you that you need to get defensive? That's an indication that there's something in you right now that needs to be looked at
Hmm.
from that lens.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Always so good seeing you.